Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
Data flow. Okay, so there are, it is not compulsory. Now, they mention the problem over here. Physical, logical component do not have to be same. That is true. Okay, but technically speaking, majority of cases, physical and logical topology actually work in hand to hand. Majority cases, but it does not require that it should work in that way only. It has to be same. It is not like that 100%, but majority of the implementation it actually work in the same fashion. Whatever physical topology which you have, same logical topology you would be implemented. But it is not compulsory that you, whatever physical topology which you have to use it same topology for logical. It is not compulsory, but majority cases sometime it happen in the same way. Now there are four common physical topologies are there. There is a bus topology. That means there is a method called as bus. I can arrange my all the devices with this topology. I do have a topology called as a ring topology. I do have a topology called as star topology. And finally, I do have a topology called as mesh topology. Correct? Now, topology means I told you the physical arrangement of the devices. Now, there are four different methods to arrange the devices: bus, ring, star, and mesh. Correct? Now, this is a physical topology which we are talking about. There are physical diagrams are available. Okay. Now we will see where this particular topology comes under this. It will comes under the data link and physical layer. It's a combination of two layers. So if someone comes to you and asks you, okay, where the physical topology or logical topology comes, if it comes under the OSI layer, make sure that it comes under the data link layer as well as it comes under physical layer. So any answer would be right. If you are using data link or physical, in both the cases, it is the right answer. No problem. Okay. So remember that the first topology we are going to discuss is called as physical bus topology. Okay. This is how it looks like. Check this topology carefully. This is a physical bus topology. Now understand how the computers are physically connected. They said it is physically connected with the bus topology. You can see there is a T connectors. Okay, this is a single wire, and in between that there is a T connector. One T connector wire would be going over here. Second T connector wire would be going to the next T connector. Another wire would be going here. Next would be going here. I believe that everybody know our water pipeline. You might heard about it. While creating that water pipeline which we are using for our water system, there is a device called as T device. Okay, whenever I want to give a connection, I would rather use a T device. The connection would be going to other end, and there is a one main flow would be there. These are T devices. This is my main flow. Okay, and one additional connection which would be given to this computer. This is called as bus topology. We are not using bus topology at all, but we were using long time back. Yesterday I told you that we are used to get coaxial cables to connect the networks. It is a very long time back. Now in that particular coaxial cables, we are using this topology. Believe me, we are using T connector with coaxial cables and we are connected the computer like this. Now if you can describe, look at the description, what they described it. Okay. The network topology where nodes are arranged in a linear format and T connector connected each node directly. Linear format means in a single line. You can see all the computers are connected in the single line. And T connector will help these particular node to be connected to the mainstream line. Okay. Network cable. That is your mainstream line. Now, what is a problem would be happen? Correct. This is very important problem. Now the problem, let's say, for example, this computer A, for example, say, okay, this is my computer A and this is my computer B. Okay, now I want to send the data to this. Okay, now what will happen? The data will come to this T first. Okay, the data would be transmitted over here. He should also take that particular data. He should also process that data. He said, oh no, this is not made for me. Okay, data will once again come back to the mainstream. He should move the data to the next node. Then he will take this particular data. He will process that particular data. Correct. Then he will say, this is for me. Correct. Once again he will send the data. Okay, then he will send the data to the middle computer. Correct. So send the data to this. He will once again take it, process it, and he will say, oh, this is not made for me, let's move forward. Correct. Now you can imagine if it is clearly mentioned over here. Okay, signal reflect of the cable, that is fine. Easy to implement, limit of two nodes communicating once, so data transmission is slower than other topologies. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is something very interesting. Okay, this is what we are talking about. Correct. Now if the communication is happening like this, right, I'm only giving you the example of two computers, they are communicating. What if at the same time this is computer C, he also want to talk to A at the same time parallelly? Correct. Is it be possible? It is technically possible, but you can imagine, I'm talking about three computers. Imagine if I have 10 and 15 computers. I'm just giving you numbers in two figures only. And if I connected something like this type of bus topology, correct? You can imagine how much network congestion should be happen in this particular line. Correct. You can imagine I cannot send and receive the data parallelly. You can see 23, all three computers, let's say all three computers are transmitting the data. In our case, A want to talk to B, C want to talk to A, B want to talk to C. At the same time, parallelly, all three Three computers are sending the data, it would be receiving the data, once again they are sending it back to that particular respective computer. You can imagine how much network consumption should be happening. So that's why by default in bus topology, only two computers would be allowed. This is what they are talking about over here. You can see in this particular thing, limit of two nodes communicating at once. So data transmission is slower than other topologies. Limit of two nodes communicating at once. That means only two nodes. That means at a given point of time, only two computers can talk to each other. Rest of the computer has to be idle. You cannot do anything. Obviously, because of that, you cannot send anything parallelly. Ultimately, your network would be slower. Correct? I cannot send, because if I start sending it parallelly, the one which I told you right now, then what will happen? The complete network choked up. So in bus topology, by default, the mechanism is very clear that only two devices could be talked with each other at a single point. That is also fine. That is also okay. But what is the problem comes after that? You have to make sure that if only two computers are talking with each other, until and unless they have finished, you have to wait. Correct? That's why it is very, very slow. It is not that much fast. Very easy to implement, very easy, you can say, mm, very, very cost effective. Actually, you can say very easy to implement, easy to manage, cost effective, but the problem is that it is very, very slow. Correct? One more problem they are talking about, you can see there is a device called as terminator. These devices, now let's say if I don't have this device by the time, let's say we don't have it. Okay, now what will happen? I told you, if computer A want to talk to computer B, that's fine. Okay, that absolutely fine. That A want to talk to B, he will go there, no problem. Correct? Now the issue would be happen in certain cases. Now I talked about ARP protocol yesterday. ARP. Now imagine what happened in case of ARP. Now if my computer A was talking with B, that is a precise communication. That means computer A want to talk with a B. That's fine. Because as per our bus topology, only two computers would be able to talk with each other. I agree, no problem. But there is one more problem in bus topology. I told you ARP protocol, that is the address resolution protocol, help me to map IP is equal to MAC address. And every 5 seconds he was doing broadcasting. Broadcasting means what? Yesterday I talked about unicast, multicast, broadcast, and anycast. In that, broadcasting means to everyone. Correct? Now imagine if my A computer, B computer, and C computer, every 5 seconds they started doing broadcasting. Okay, and if I don't have this device is called as terminator, what would happen? Broadcasting means he will send it to anyone. So he send it, he send it, he send it, then it will start flowing in this particular entire wire. Correct? This signal of ARP would be available in this wire, and if I don't have a terminator over here, what will happen? He will go here, that broadcasting will go here, the broadcasting will come from here as well, it will also go here if I don't have a terminator. If I don't have a terminator, what will happen? That signal will once again bounce back and once again coming back here. The signal will go here, bounce back, come again over here. That means there is no end That signal will go bounce, come back, go bounce, come back, because I don't have any device over here. It's a end of the cable. And if I don't have a terminator, the signal will go to that end and come back. That will create a broadcast stream. I know that from A to B, I do have option, but there are certain protocols which is running behind the scene, which I don't know, but they are doing continuous broadcasting, correct? And in bus topology,
Hey viewers, are you looking for formal training on SRE practices? Take our SRE program. This course will teach you how to successfully implement site reliability engineering in the modern day 24/7 services. Kickstart your SRE training today. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
if I connected the computer in a linear format, that will generate a lot of broadcasting unnecessary. That's the reason they took up a solution called as terminator. This terminator, what they will do, if any signal comes to this terminator end, he will drop that signal automatically. It's a ground. You can say in an electrical language, they will do the ground of that signal. So it will not once again bounce back and going back to the cable. They will not do that. Correct? But still, you can see bus topology would not be that much convenient for our case. It would be convenient if you are using only some small set of network, hardly 2 to 3 computers. If you have, then you can use it. Okay, you can see signal bounce, collision would be happen. Yes, if you bounce the signal, then the signal could be happen to collision, and the collision has happening means your data loss is 100% available. Correct? So burst topology, we are not using it. It is somewhat a problematic technique, or somewhat, not somewhat, it is a problematic technique for us. Correct? It will create a lot of problems. It is very slower. Manageability wise, it is very simple to manage it, but it is very slow. If you have only 2-3 computers and if you want to create a network, then yes, bus topology is the good option which you can go for it. Correct? Now this is the problem they are talking about. If I don't have a terminator, correct, then what would be happen? Okay, a jam signal is sent. Okay, now what exactly happening in real life? Whenever any type of collision is happened, he will send a jam signal. Okay, I will tell you here how it is practically doing in 5 minutes, and after that we will take a break. Normally what happened, whenever, if I don't have a terminators over here, okay, that's fine. This particular signal, in case if I don't have a terminal over here, let's say I don't have a terminal over here, I don't have a terminal over here, correct? And this computer want to send the data. So this computer send a data to here. It will go to the normal path, no doubt about it. He will go here, he will say no, this is not for me, let's go ahead, this is going to this computer, that's fine. But at the same time, I told you that they are doing ARP broadcasting. Now they are seeing broadcasting. Broadcasting means the signal is actually coming over here, he will go here, this signal is coming from this computer, this will go here. At the same time, he is going to respond it back to his normal condition. Correct? Okay, normally he want to bounce back with that the computer A response. At the same time, if this someone is coming into this and he is coming from this, if collision is happened, okay, if any case collision is happened, what happened? Why network actually send a jam signal? They will send a jam signal to every node. Majority, he will try to send a jam signal to this because he's the one who want to send the data, and he is my receiver. He will send, okay, jam, do not send anything because we have a collision over here. Correct? He will inform what collision is happened, which data packet has been removed or destroyed. Correct? Because of the collision. He will wait for some time. He cannot just tell you like that. It is jam. He said, jam, wait. I will tell you which packet which is collide, because I need to send that packet one more time, because which protocol I'm using, TCP. TCP is what? It is a reliable method. Correct? TCP. This is method which I'm using. Imagine what will happen in bus topology. He sent some data. He reached over here. He want to send a response back. At the same time, ARP broadcasting is happened. ARP, I don't have a terminator. The bounce back would be happened. Then this signal was in the same line. This signal is on the same line. Collide. The data is destroyed. The moment it destroyed, he will inform this computer, please go for a jam signal. Do not send anything anymore. He will say, don't respond it. Don't send any data. It would be a jam signal. Now he will not stop this guy. Maybe that he want to send anything, he should go ahead. Correct? If he allowed to do that. Correct? But currently jam signal is sent, and he will say, okay, this particular packet number has been destroyed because of this collision. So he will ask the once again this computer or this computer for the negotiations. Negotiation means, okay, this packet is by whom, where it is this particular packet, I want to send it back. So that computer would be coming into the picture, and he will start sending that particular packet one more time. So this is very tedious process. You can imagine how many things are happening over the network if I'm using the bus topology. Correct? So for smaller network, I said only 2-3 computers are available. Okay, then it would not be problematic if it is 2-3 computers. But if I'm using a more than that, then it is not possible. Correct? Now another solution they are coming with a physical ring topology. But now let's talk about another topology called as a ring topology, because we know that there is a problem called as collision in bus topology, and that collision could happen in certain cases if I don't have a terminator. But we would like to find out a better solution to avoid such kind of scenario, because this kind of physical bus topology will not be sufficient to handle a big networks. If I would like to create a big local area connection, it would not be so much efficient for that. Correct? So the next topology would help you in certain condition, that is called as a ring topology. Now there is a token ring technology which is designed and developed by IBM, and there is a normal physical ring topology. Now you can look at this. Okay. Now this is how the ring topology looks like, and he will try to avoid the collision in some extent. Okay, this is a very good technique which we are still using in certain scenarios. Now look at this topology and see how it will send the data in a very different format. Now once again, we are talking about a physical topology, the physical arrangement of the device. We are not talking about logical topology. Correct? Okay, now let's say this is a computer A. I want to talk to computer B. Now you can see computer B is just next to computer A. Correct? But remember that the data flow would be happening in a ring topology in only one direction. Correct? Now if it is happen two direction, what will happen? Okay, computer A want to talk to the computer B. What will happen if it is allowed the data to be happen with any directional or with any particular way? Then what will happen? A will send a data to B in this particular way, and once again A will send data with this particular way. So B is getting two different copies of the data. Correct? That's why the data flow is what they are saying, unidirectional. Okay, this is the first problem. Second problem would be collision. Correct? If I'm talking about broadcasting messages, if I configure that A is done the broadcasting to everyone, so and if that broadcasting sent through this both the direction, then there is a chance that particular messages would be collide with each other. Correct? So in ring topology, what they have introduced to avoid the collision, they introduced the concept called as unidirectional. That means the data would be sent in only one direction. Correct? Remember that if majority of ring topology always use clockwise direction, not anti-clockwise. It is a clockwise direction they were we using it. Correct? So majority of the cases, if A want to talk to B, I can immediately reach to this B, but I cannot send this particular data with anti-clockwise direction. I have to go to the clockwise direction. Then that particular data would be passed to this moment and it will reach over. Now, this is what they are talking about over here. If you look that this is a unidirectional data flow, avoid the collisions. Nodes are corrected in the form of circle, that is a circular fashion. Correct? No central device. Now there is a no centralized device is available to manage this particular thing. Each node scans the data packet, accept those destination for it and forward it to other packets. Now this is what interesting thing is that every node, now this is not like a bus which we are connected with a T, correct? Here what happened, A sends the data for a computer B, but it is sending the data through this computer. Now people ask me how it is connected in a circular fashion. To be honest, it is connected with two network card. Okay, for my computer A, there are two network cards. Computer B also, computer C also require two network card. So from one network card to another, this particular network card, there would be one cable connected. From other network card to next computer, that particular cable is connected. So there has to be two network card would be required for each and every single machine if I would like to connect it in a ring topology. Correct? So that means I'm actually sending the data to this computer. He will process it and forward it to the next computer and say this is not made for me, let's forward it. He is also doing the same thing. When the data received on his node, he will say, oh, this data is not made for me, let's forward it. Then he will reach to this particular computer where it's made for it. Correct? Once again he will say, oh, this data is made for me. He will process it and send me the acknowledgement. Now what happened? Acknowledgement will go faster because it is a clockwise. Correct? So this is also the technique which we are using in some certain scenarios till the date. Correct? This is called as ring topology. Now people ask me, what if everyone want to send at the same time? What will happen? Isn't it creating a storm over here? Yes. In certain cases, yes, it is going to do that. But once again, the scenario would be like this. Only two computers can, or you can say only one computer do have an ability to send a data. Correct? What mechanism they have introduced over here? They introduce a mechanism called as token ring mechanism. Okay. Now what is token ring mechanism? Token ring mechanism means I used to give you a token before you want to send a data. Okay. This is how it works. If computer A want to talk to the computer B, computer A will not be able to send the data until and unless he should have the token with him. Correct? If we have the token with him, then he need to keep the token with him till the time the data will reach to the computer B. Correct? So until and unless if you have that token with you, then only you are able to send the data. Now this token is floating token. That means it's continually flowing across the network. Now the data is reached over here. A will release that token. That token would be asked by computer B. Now he said, no, I want to send the data. Give me the token. So once it is released, the token will become over here. Then he will send the acknowledgement.
Hey viewers, trying to get into DevSecOps? Enroll for our DevSecOps certified professional programs and earn the certification that shows you are fit for these technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Once he send the acknowledgement, the one who want that particular token, he will get that token and send the data. So until and unless that token is with you, that particular computer would be able to send the data to that particular network. Otherwise, it is not possible to do that. Correct? So this is very, very interesting and efficient way to handle it. But still, one majority factor would be there, that the management and centralized control would be problematic here. Correct? That is not available. Okay. So this is called as a ring topology. Majorly currently in internet service providers network, we are able to see a ring topology till the date. Correct? That is possible. Now the next topology would be considered as a star topology. Now this is widely acceptable topology which we are using. Okay, we are using it for our enterprise network as well. This is how it looks like. Okay, now this is very easy to manage topology because I do have a centralized device now. Now that centralized device, it could be a switch, it could be a hub, it could be a bridge, correct? It could be any device which is a centralized device now. And this centralized device would be controller for all your network now. And all other devices are connected to this switch. Now, such kind of implementation would be considered as a star topology. Correct? We have seen in our organization, our computers are connected to some centralized device. Either it could be with the help of wire or either it could be help of wireless. But there has to be some centralized device. So if in this particular case, if computer A want to talk to the computer B, correct? Then it is a very straightforward communication. Computer A will send the data to the switch. Switch will process that data and send that data to the computer B. Isn't it simple? Yes, it is very simple. Plus, I am able to control all the activity with the help of centralized device. This is very much easy for me right now. If any computer goes wrong, that will only impact that computer. It will not impact anything at all. Correct? Until and unless if your entire centralized device gone bad, that is the only impactful point. But if your nodes are going bad, it does not affect anything. But if you can look at the ring topology, if one of the node goes bad, it is not going to send the data to the other node because that node should process the data and only send the data to the next node. Correct? So understand, this is very important technique which we are using nowadays for our enterprise network. Correct? Now look at the beneficial point of your star topology. Okay, you can see nodes send the data to the connectivity device and other devices forward to data to the destination. Correct? The legacy implementation hub are passes to all nodes. Now this is what I'm telling you, that you're supposed to send the data to the centralized device, then he will take care of it. Now computer A don't need to bother about anything. He sends the data to the switch, then it is the responsibility of that particular device how he would be able to send the data to the computer B. That's it. Correct? Second important point, reliable, very easy to maintain. Why? Because your particular centralized device is a controller for you now. I would be able to manage everything from this centralized device. Correct? The next point which we have discussed, that if any single point would be goes down, that does not affect the network, other network at all, because this computer is turned off, other computers are turned on. Correct? So it is a very good single point of failure option which would be available over here. Now, the case when your switch is gone bad, then definitely your entire network would be down, no doubt about that. But if your one of the node is completely down, then that does not affect any other communication which is happening between that. Correct? In ring topology, I told you. In ring, if this computer goes bad, I won't be able to forward the data further because this computer has to be turned on. Otherwise, the communication would not be happening. But that is not the case in terms of a star topology. Correct. The next point would be extremely common in client and server network, also used in mainframe system. Now, mainframe system, everybody know that we were using long time back. Currently, mainframe system are still available, but not all the cases. Correct. But still, it is the star topology which they were using it. I told you in our current enterprise network, we all using the star topology because it is much more reliable and it would be much more recommended method to work for client and server mechanisms. Correct? If I have a server and if I have a client, and if I would like to make the connections between the server and the client, star topology is the best method to use such kind of implementation. Correct? Now the last topology would be called as mesh. Now, this is something interesting. Look at the mesh. Okay, if you carefully look at this mesh topology, there is every computer. Here is not a centralized mechanism, but look at this computer. Let's say computer A, let's say computer B. Okay, and look at the connection to the computer A to the computer B. Now you can see computer B is connected through this. Okay, computer A is also connected to this. Computer A is also connected to this. Computer A is also connected to this. Correct? Look at every computer is connected with each other for your network. You can see computer is connected to everyone. This is a partial mesh, that computer A, and if this is a computer C, it is partial mesh connection. It is connected through either with the B or either with this computer D. Correct? So you can say in a partial mesh, it's very reliable technique actually. You can see dedicated links to every node eliminate the network congestion and provide a faster data transfer. Yes, absolutely. Because my computers are connected to each and every dedicated connection for every computer. Correct? So definitely my data transfer would be very faster in that case. I agree. No problem with that. Extremely reliable. 100%. It is very reliable because you have a dedicated connection for every single computer in your network from this particular computer. Correct? What is difficult to maintain and implement this network group? Correct? This is problematic. Now, in the diagram, you can see there are 5 computers are in total. Now, forget about the partial mesh. So you can see on computer A, it's connected to all other 4 computers with a different cable and with a different network card available on that particular computer. Similar case for computer B, computer D within these 2 computers, that it also connected four cables attached with 4 different network cards. So you can imagine how complex this network could be to manage it. It is not, it is reliable because it has a dedicated line for each network, but it is not cost effective. Every computer, I should purchase 4 different network cards, 4 different wires should be connected. You can imagine the cost of a single machine. Now, this is, I'm talking about only one machine, correct? You can imagine what could be happening to your 100 computers, correct? You can see this is a problem, correct? I'm talking about 100 computers only. Do I require 100 network cards and 100 cables connected to a single computer? As per the mesh physical topology, yes, correct. But do you think it is practically possible? You can imagine 100 cables are connected to your laptop or desktop machines. It is not technically manageable. It is extremely reliable process because the communication would be faster. I want to communicate to 100 computers. Every computer I do have a dedicated line, extremely faster, correct? But the problem would be management is very complex. High cost is required because we require to have everything dedicatedly managed and maintained for every computer. So this is not a suitable implementation for my enterprise networks, correct? Then where it can be used? There is a storage area network. In our enterprise networking, there is one more networking concept is called as storage area network. There is nothing to do with this networking. That storage area network is a concept for handling the storage and handling the traffic which is coming from the storage. Now, in that storage area network, okay, we are using mesh because it's faster reliability. Because storage area or storage devices which you guys are using, which is very complex, means I cannot have 100 storage area. Yes, in some cases it is possible in biggest data centers, but I do have a minimum number of storage, but the number is restricted, correct? So in storage area network, it is a very convenient to handle the mesh topology. But in local area connection, it is very difficult to handle the mesh topology because it's a complex topology which we can use it, correct? So remember that these are the topology: bus, ring, star, and mesh. Now there is one more topology is called as hybrid. Hybrid means combination of 2 topologies together. If I combine the physical mesh and star topology together, it would be considered as a hybrid topology. Means I can combine multiple topologies under single network also, correct? That would be considered as a hybrid topology. You can see that particular hybrid topology also into the next slide. This is what we can call it as a hybrid. Okay, you can see this particular figure. This is called as hybrid topology. This is called as media access unit, where I can use to connect. This is a star topology. This is a star topology. This is the bus topology. It's connected with the ring topology. So if I connected multiple topologies together, then it would be considered as a hybrid topology, correct? So whatever we are using currently in our enterprise network, that is a hybrid topologies, 100%. Majorly we are using a star, okay, but within the star we have combined multiple topologies together and we have created the hybrid topologies. So very interesting. These are physical arrangement of the devices we are connected together. Okay. So what type of questions they will ask you? Correct. The question is very simple. They will give you some diagram in your questionnaire and ask you identify what type of topology it is talking about. Correct. So that type of questions they would be asking for your question. So you know that ring, bus, star, mesh, and hybrid. These are the 5 different type of topologies which is currently available. Star topology is widely used in our enterprise network to create a LAN. Mesh topology widely used for storage area networks. Ring topology partially used for internet service providers, correct? And hybrid topology is a combination of these topologies together, which is majorly used in our enterprise network.
Hey viewers, our Mastery in DevOps engineering program can help you to hone the skills necessary to succeed in high level DevOps positions. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now and earn certification that show you are keeping pace with today's technical roles and requirements. Contact info is mentioned in the video sidebars and in the description box. Book your seats for the upcoming batches now.
Correct. So that will type of questions they will be asking you to either identify the topology or either will ask you what is the best topology which we can use. Correct. Now logical bus topology. Now imagine we talked about 2 different type of topology, physical topology and logical topology. I told you the physical topology is nothing but physical arrangement of the devices, and logical topology means the data would be flowing, how the data would be flowing through that wires and devices, that is considered as a logical topology. Correct. Now here they're talking about logical bus topology. That means currently, do I look like it is a star topology by looking at it, the physical arrangement? Yes. By looking at it, it looks like it is a star topology because I do have a centralized device over here, which is a hub, and all the client or the nodes are connected to the hub. But if I look at this particular type of network diagram, by looking at, my first impression would be, oh, this is a star topology if I compare the physical arrangement. But if I compare with how data flow is happening through this diagram, then it would be considered as a logical bus topology. Correct? What logical bus topology said, that every node I should go and ask him, okay, take this data. Every node say, oh, this is not my data. This is not my data. Correct? This is what we have discussed in our bus topology. Am I right? I'm sending the data from A to B, but every time every computer will receive that particular data and say, this is not for me, this is not for me. The one who actually the made for that data, he is the only one who can accept it. Now this is how the data flow is happening in a normal bus topology, which is physical arrangement. But if I consider this topology, by looking at, the first impression would say this is a star topology. Correct? Physically it is a star topology, but logically the data flow would be exactly happen with the bus topology, because I told you what hub is going to do. Whenever computer A, this is a sending node, send the data to the hub. Correct? What hub actually do? Hub by default broadcasts the data to every node which is connected. What bus topology is also doing? Bus topology is actually sending the data to the computer B, but unnecessarily that data would also go to other computers for processing. Correct? That particular thing would be also possible in order to handle that particular situation. Every computer in a bus topology need to process it and say, oh, this data is not made for me. Same concept is available in this logical bus. Correct? By looking at it, looks like it is a physical star topology, but technically, if I see the data flow, it would look like a bus topology. Correct? Remember that this is very important because hub will send the data to every node, and every node either responded, okay, this data is not for made for me. Okay, so it will discard the data. Same thing would be happen with the bus topology. Correct? Now let's talk about second, logical ring topology. Correct? Now how logical ring topology will work? Okay. Now, now look at this. This is a media access unit. Now once again, it looks like this is a centralized device. Okay, and all other devices are connected to this, but this is called as media access unit. This looks like a device which is like a switch or hub. Correct? But this would be something, by looking at it, it looks like it is a star topology because all the devices are connected to the centralized device, but logically it looks like a ring topology. Now what he's saying, you can see each node receive the data only from its upstream neighbor and transmit only to the downstream neighbor. Now this is the functionality of MAU. What I told you regarding our ring topology, it always go clockwise direction. He always send the data to the clockwise direction to the next computer. Whether my computer is right away connected next to me, but I told you that he would send the data to the next computer in order to reach over here. And this is a unidirectional. In a logical ring topology, what will happen? Any particular node receive the data from the upstream computer. That means this computer only receive the data from this computer because this is my upstream. He cannot receive the data from the downstream computer. He cannot receive the data from here. That means it is unidirectional. Correct? By looking at it, you feel that it is a star topology because there is a centralized device. That's fine. There is a device called as media access control, but how that device can send the data logically, he will always accept the data from the upstream. He never accept any data from the downstream. If this computer want to talk to this computer, he always send the data to this because this is something downstream, because I can transmit the data to the downstream neighbor only. I cannot send the data to the upstream, but I want to talk with him. I cannot send the data to him. So what I should do? I will transmit the data to this downstream. I will transmit the data to this downstream. I will transmit the data to this downstream and ultimately reach over here. So sometimes this is very confusing. That's why this chapter is talking about both the things. Correct? Logical topology means how the data flow is happening. By looking at hub, we come to know that, oh, this is a star topology. I agree. By looking at the physical arrangement, it is a topology called a star. But how the data flow is happening? The data flow is exactly happening like a bus. Why? Because he is going to every computer for a processing. Same thing for a logical ring. I do have a device called as media access unit. which looks like a switch, which looks like a hub. But remember that in media access unit devices, I can only talk with the downstream computers. I cannot accept anything from upstreams. I can accept from upstreams, but I cannot send it to the upstreams anything back. I can only send the data to the downstream. I cannot send it to the upstream computers. This is nothing but a logical link. So by looking at, I can say that it looks like a star topology, but logically it is actually working as a ring topology. Correct? Logical standard. This is completely a star topology because here we are using the device called as switch. Correct? As I told you, this is logical star topology. Now, physical, it is a star, no doubt about it. We do have a centralized device and all the devices are connected to this centralized device. So logically and physically, this is a star topology they are talking about. By looking at the diagram, it is a star topology. And logically, I'm using a switch. Now, how switch can do the data flow? As we discussed last time, whenever computer A from here to talk to the computer B, the data would be transferred to the switch first. Correct? Now what switch will do? Switch do have its own MAC address table. Correct? That MAC address table contain all the attached devices and their MAC addresses and on which port they are connected. Correct? If this computer want to transmit the data to this computer, he will look into the MAC address. I told you switch is a layer 2 device. The media access control or a MAC address is the only unit which switch can understand. Correct? We have already discussed this thing yesterday. So what switch can do, he will read the MAC address and he will match the MAC address into his MAC address table. And if he find out, oh, this MAC address is connected to the port number 1, so he will send the data to only that port. So this is called as unicasting method, one to one. He is not doing broadcasting if the entry is already available inside your MAC address table. Correct? If they do not have the address, then definitely in order to learn the MAC address, he will do the broadcast. Once he will come to know that, okay, there is a MAC address newly attached, I should put the entry into my MAC address table for further reference. Correct? Such how many MAC address our router can store? Our router can currently store more than 10,000 MAC addresses inside the memory chip of the router. So very huge number is there. So don't worry. In the memory of the switch, not a router. Sorry, my mistake. So make sure that the MAC address table should be properly maintained on the switch. So it will not do the broadcast on the switch. If he doing the broadcast, then once again it is a logical bus topology. But our switch is very smart. Inside the memory of the switch, there is a MAC table who will identify where is that computer's MAC address and on which physical port of the switch that computer is connected. So it is unicast. So by looking at, it is a star topology, and how the data flow is happening. Data flow is happening in unicast way, not a broadcast way. Broadcasting is only first step in order to populate the MAC address table inside the memory of the switch. But by default, switch always preferred unicast communication method or unicast connection method. Yesterday we have seen unicast, multicast, broadcast, or anycast. Correct? We have seen that. So this is by looking at, it is a star topology, and logically it is a bus topology. Logically it is also star topology. Sorry. So what type of questions they will ask you? Now here is a very, very interesting question. You identify what type of topology which we can see it by looking at it, correct? But be careful. They would be able to ask you the question based on, I will give you the diagram and identify logical topology, correct? Remember that the device like hub, media access unit, and switch. If hub is coming inside your particular network, it is a bus topology by default. By looking at it is a star topology. If I'm using any particular device called as media access unit, by looking at the diagram, it would be a star topology, but logically it is a ring topology. Correct? Same case for the third. It looks like a star and it will transmit like a star. That would be considered as a star topology. So majority of the question they will ask you in this particular format, whether it's a what type of logical topology and what type of a physical topology they want to talk. Correct? Now here is the activity they are giving you. Tomorrow we will do this activity. Correct? They ask you to install a sniffing tool in order to sniff the data and we'll see what is happening. Now tomorrow we will do this practical with the help of the tool called as Wireshark. Wireshark is a tool who can help us to sniff the data for that. Okay, so understand, tomorrow everybody should access their machines and we'll start doing the practical session tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.